Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Flourish and Tresses. Over here, I just usually do my hair. So I am bringing you guys my hair routine live to show you guys what I do to maintain my mini braids. I put these mini braids in my hair about a week ago. I have not did anything with my, have not put any moisturizer, any oil or anything in my hair in about a week. So it is definitely time for me to moisturize my hair. So I am going to moisturize my hair, and then I'm going to talk about my topic, which is Miss Kelly Bryant. There's been an update, so I'm going to talk about that. But first, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to moisturize my hair with. Oh, let me share this live out too. Let me do that now. That didn't work. And all right, share it out. All right, so I am going to start with my liquid today. I'm going to use some water, and then I'm going to use some this Cantu Shea Butter Coconut Curling Cream. I'm going to use that. Then I'm going to take my little massager here and I'm going to massage my hair a little bit. And then I'm going to seal everything in with my olive oil. So I have olive oil in this bottle. So that's what I'm going to do for is the moisturizing routine. But that I'm going to do that after I talk about the news story. So I've talked about this news story or this topic a little while ago. Actually, I think I just finished some shorts where I talked about Miss Kelly Bryant. So yeah, there's been an update. So I'm just gonna read the news story, and then I'm gonna talk about how I feel about the news story, and about some things, whatever, while I do my hair routine. All right. So this update came Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Pontiac, Michigan, an Oakland County mother accused of abandoning her children and leaving them to live in squalor for years, was sentenced on Wednesday on her welfare fraud charges and was also found competent to stand trial on the child abuse charges. Kelly Bryant of Pontiac appeared in court Wednesday, June 17th, for her sentencing in a review hearing of her competency exam. In February 2025, Bryant was charged with three counts of first-degree child abuse after authorities found her three little ones, a 15-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, and a 12-year-old girl living alone in squalor. Hi, Ileana Gray. Did I say that right? Hopefully, I said that right. How are you? Thank you for being here. Hi, Free. How are you? Thank you for being here. If you're just coming into the live, please make sure that you like the live. We are talking about Miss Kelly Bryant. All right. Officials said garbage was piled as high as 4 feet in some rooms, and the mold and feces were found throughout the home. They survived on food dropped off that Brian sent using services like DoorDash and Instacart, but they allegedly were never sent toilet paper, soap, or shampoo during their abandonment. She was later issued welfare fraud charges for collecting her kids' public assistance. On June 17th, Bryant was sentenced to 2 years probation on the welfare charges. The judge at Wednesday's hearing is also reviewed her competency exam results and found Bryant competent to stand trial. A date for Bryant's trial on the child abuse charges has been scheduled for August 24th, 2026. All right. So I'm not going to try. I'm gonna try not to go too deep in because I've actually talked about this I don't even know. I don't want to call her a young lady. Um, I usually call all women young ladies, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. This is horrible. This is horrible. I've never heard of a case this extreme. And I've heard of cases very, very bad. Like I talked about one case, the young lady, this was quite a while ago, and this was actually in Baltimore. Young lady was driving around in a car, and she had her niece, I think her niece and her nephew, bodies in the trunk, and she was driving around. And even that case, I don't. I think this is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Um, to think that a mother would leave her little ones in the house for 5 years. She abandoned them little ones for 5 years. For 5 years. That's absolutely crazy to me. And I've talked about in my past live that all of this happened during 2020. And we all know what happened during 2020. So I could maybe understand a little bit if maybe during 2020, that whole year, um, a little bit. As a mom of five children, I really, but a little bit maybe, because I think that during 2020 we all kind of lost it a little bit for real. I think we all was going a little like all of us. Um, So I would kind of like, okay, all right, we all was going through something, and maybe she didn't want the kids to get sick, or maybe the kids was sick and she didn't want to get sick. That would be a little bit more understandable than for 5 years. For 5 years. So I would probably understand maybe for a year from 2020 to 2021. I would maybe understand it a little bit. But for 5 years, like how what is the mind what is the mindset of that? That is crazy. And they said that she would drop off food. She dropped off food, and sometimes she'll have it delivered. She'll have the food delivered, or she'll bring the food to the house and leave it at the door, whatever. Like how do you go to the house with your little ones in it, and you sit food outside or whatever, and you go back to your comfortable place of living around the corner basically? How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? And let me put her picture up here while I'm talking about her. I have some other pictures. I should have put the other pictures there, but yeah, let me put her picture up there. How do you sleep at night? How do you drop food off at a house that you know is horrible, horrendous, and go to sleep somewhere else? I just, I really don't understand it. And the severity of the things that she went through in this case. Somewhere I read that she went so far as to take the batteries out the smoke detectors so the authorities wouldn't be alerted. So there would be no reason for the authorities to come to the house or whatever. Like, were you trying to unalive these little ones? Were you trying to do that? Because what would have happened if it was a real fire? What would happen if it was a real fire? I just, I mean, you didn't bring them no toilet paper, no cleaning supplies, like, and it was during 2020, and during 2020, like, yeah, you didn't bring them anything. You just brought them food so they wouldn't. unalive in there basically. So I got a chance to look at this hearing here, and what I find quite um crazy to me is that the previous hearings that I watched of her, her attitude was a lot different in this hearing. It was a lot different. So I think the first hearing that I seen her in, she was when they first arrested her, and she was still locked up or whatever. She when they first arrested her, she was locked up, and she was in the courtroom with her lawyer, whatever. It was a guy or whatever, and they was I guess doing whatever they do in the courtroom or whatever, and she was like laughing and giggling and joking and stuff with the lawyer. Now the lawyer never cracked a smile at her. He never cracked a smile at her, but it was like, what's funny? Because there's nothing funny about this situation. Like, what's funny? What is really funny? Okay, so that was the first time I seen her in court. The second time I seen her in court, I think, let me think. Yeah, the second time I believe I seen her in court was after she got a bail or whatever. They gave her they reduced the bail or whatever. The bail was like 250 million at first, and then they reduced it to like 50,000 or something like that. And she actually got out on bond. So the second time that I actually seen her in court or whatever, it was when she was out or whatever. She was out on bond, and she had a court hearing. And this particular time when I seen her in court, she had like a little smug attitude. The judge had said something. The judge, oh, her lawyer was trying to get the case postponed for a competency hearing to because she didn't feel like she was competent for the stand trial or whatever. And the judge was saying basically like we didn't been through all this. Like she didn't been to court, we didn't, read everything to her. She said she understand, and now all of a sudden, now you saying she don't understand. Like, come on, now we trying to get this court date going. We trying to like, yeah, because she needs to be sentenced for real. Um, so then she was next to her lawyer, and they said she scoped at the judge, but really, in my opinion, she really scoped at her lawyer. So she turned around to the lawyer with a real smug attitude and was like, "Yeah, I'm just saying because because the lawyer said this not her doing. This is basically my doing. I'm suggesting that." And then she turned around to the lawyer and was like, "Yeah, because I'm just saying, I'm just standing here." Like basically, I'm just wondering why we not because I'm confident. I'm confident to stand trial, and this is yeah. So that she had a little attitude or whatever and everything. Now, in this particular time, I think this is my third time I seen her in court. In this particular time, let's look at her demeanor. Her demeanor is totally changed. Totally changed. No attitude. No attitude. Just sitting there looking soft. And when the judge asked her a question, she said, "Yes, ma'am." Wow, wow, wow! It just changed? The whole attitude just changed. So the judge went over everything, um, and the judge said she was competent to stand trial. They went over her welfare case, which they said she got 2 years probation. And I was reading the comments because there was, you could leave a little comment in a news story, whatever, and people was really upset that she got 2 years probation for the welfare fraud or whatever. Um, and I mean, yeah, I get it. I get why people be upset, but my thing is like that's not the biggest portion of this case. We need to see what's gonna happen with her, what type of time she gonna get for what she did to them little ones. That's what we need to see. Like the welfare thing, like okay, yeah, like okay, she was getting welfare, government assistance, and all that, or whatever, and everything, and she wasn't taking care of them little ones. Okay, But I think the biggest portion, what we really want to know, is like, what type of time is she going to get for this? Because, like, yeah, this is really severe to me. It's very severe, and I know people would say things like, well, you know what I'm saying, the babies, they were still alive or whatever and everything, but the mental, the stuff that they gonna go through mentally all throughout life, and all throughout life. So the judge set the hearing for August or whatever, and then the lawyer on the other side, not her lawyer, but the other lawyer, was like letting the judge know, like, yeah, the kids, well, the little ones, they'll be back in school in September. So, like, and I do believe that they're gonna call the little ones to the stand to testify, which I think it's a good idea, because we really want to know, like, I mean, I don't even think we want to know, because we can only imagine. We can only imagine what they have to say for 5 years. 5 years. I can't leave my kids alone for 5 minutes. But I do have really small little ones. But even still, like, I just I just don't understand. I don't understand people to save my life. It's just mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, this case is so horrific to me. So then at the end of her trial, at the end of the hearing or whatever, the lawyer wanted to speak with the judge or whatever, and basically to talk about the bond or whatever. Like, they wanted her to, you know, get out or whatever and everything. The judge was like, "Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not talking about that right now." I'm like, yeah, because that was her whole demeanor. That's why she had this little demeanor on, and this little nice docile, yes, ma'am. That's why she was looking like that, because the lawyer must have promised to her, like, we're gonna try to see if we can get you bond and get out again. No, you need to be right where you at. That's where you need to be at, right there. You need to be right there. And I hope, like, I hope that she going through it in there. I hope that she going through it, because she deserve it. She deserve it. Somebody in the comments was like, that her sentencing need to be, they need to stick her in that house where she had them little ones at. And I agree. That should be the sentencing, and give her food once a week. They even said in one of the news stories that sometimes she would just deliver like bread once a week or whatever, like food that's barely even going to last to make it. Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Like, how could you? Then she was on social media, like, and I shouldn't be surprised, because I've seen some things. I've seen I've seen some things on social media. I done seen some things on social media. I really have, and I shouldn't be really surprised. Like, mm, 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 mm. Just living her best life, and them little ones is living like that. Man, so I definitely been keeping my eye on this story. Um, I didn't talk about the update when she actually got arrested or whatever. The reason why she got arrested is because she missed when the lawyer, when they asked for a competency exam for her to be able to, if she was competent enough to stand trial, she actually missed the exam. So that's why she's where she at right now. Her own fault, because she missed the exam. They let you out. They let you out. They shouldn't have let you out. You was out. You was living. You was out there free, free as a bird or whatever and everything. And all you had to do was go take the exam, and you missed the exam. So after she missed the exam, that's why they locked her up, and now she's back in jail again because she missed the exam. I was angry that they even let her out on bond. People that did less than her and ain't got no bond. Ain't got no bond. She left them little ones in the house for 5 years and gets out on bond. Absolutely crazy. When I first heard about this story, I just couldn't believe it. And then to see, because after they got the little ones out of there, they had to hire a company to clean the house and stuff. And whew, the lady, I guess she owned the company. She did a live or whatever, and she was showing everybody what the house looked like. Now, mind you, she was really irritating me in this live. I'm not gonna lie, but she showed everybody what was actually going on, and it was absolutely crazy. They had to throw away all the appliances in their house. I think they had to throw away the refrigerator, the stove. You notice the tub was coming out, and I think the landlord was there, and he had said something, and she was basically telling them like, "No, we can't salvage none of this stuff. We can't clean this. This needs to be thrown away." Like, I don't know what you was thinking. Like we was gonna clean this. No, this need to be thrown away. But to have your little ones that came out of you that you birthed, then like the dad, he was trying to get the little ones. Like I now I'm not even gonna say I would understand if what I'm saying she uh didn't have no the dad wasn't in the picture or the dad wasn't trying to get him or she had nobody to watch him. I wouldn't even understand that. But the dad was trying to get them. He went to court and everything. He had got locked up for a period of time. But when he got out, he went to court to get visitation or whatever. And from what they say, he won. He was allowed to get visitation. But then they say she still blocked it. And I'm trying to figure out like how did she block it? If he won, he had the paperwork. He had the paperwork. How was she blocking it? So maybe she still told him like you can't see him, and maybe he was like one of them dads that I don't know. But I know if I go to court and I got some papers that say like, look, you can see I could go see my kid. You best to believe I'm going over there to go see my kids. And if you don't let me see my kids, I'm calling the police and I'm showing the police my documents. Like, yeah, this is yeah, I got legal visitation to see my children, my little ones. Like, so I don't know what happened with that, but he wanted them. It wasn't a situation where he didn't want them. He wanted them. When as soon as he got out, he went to court to try to get them. And a lot of men don't do that. A lot of men leave it alone. They let their baby mothers play these little games with them. Oh, you can't see the kids and all this, that, and third. They let their baby mothers play these games and don't go to court and don't fight or nothing. They just okay, whatever. Just leave it at that. But he actually went to court. Craziness. Absolutely craziness to me. Then the sister in law, she said everybody knew she was a bad mom. Like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Then I was doing a live a little while ago, and what hurt me to my heart is somebody in the comments was like, all the baby mothers that I deal with is like her. What? And then I say to you, what type of person is you? In situations like that, right there, that situation right there. He said all the baby mothers that I deal with is like that, but he said, but they ain't my kids. But all it's going to take is for one slip, and guess what? That's going to be your baby mother too. We got to be smart. We got to think. We got to be careful out here. We got to know, like, if you treat your little ones like that. But I'm talking, most men. He was definitely a representation of a lot of men, of a lot of men. But I say, if I was a man, and I'm not, but if I was a man and I was dealing with a female, and I knew she was treating her little ones like this, I wouldn't want to have nothing to do with her. And vice versa. Vice versa. Me being a woman and I was with a man and he treated his little ones like this. Like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Why would I still, like, how can you even, and then he said, but they ain't my kids though. Like, I don't know, maybe because my heart is just is too much for real. It's gotta be my heart because, like, how could you be around somebody and see them treating their little ones like that, and not have a heart and empathy and sympathy for the little ones. Like, I just don't, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. But I absolutely cannot. 5 years, 5 years, man, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. So August, what they say, August 24th. I'm definitely um I'm definitely gonna keep my ears to the streets, or the Google the Google websites, because it's not on my news channel. This is in where's this at? Michigan. So it's not on my news channel. So yeah. I'm gonna keep my ears and eyes to Google and see what's going on. Cause I really would like to know what type of time old girl's gonna get for this. I really would like to know. I'm almost done. So I did take my massager and massage my hair a little bit. So it kind of probably took my hair out of place a little bit. So I'm gonna use my, what's this? My foaming wet lotion. Scalp massager isn't the best for hair growth. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. It's been working for my hair. That's the first time I heard that. I gotta do some research on that one. Yeah, it's looking a lot better. And I could tell my hair was really dry because my ends was like fluffy looking. What did she do? What did she do? Mm. She left her three little ones in the house by themselves for 5 years. She dropped off food to the little ones, they say once a week. Sometimes she would drop off as little as bread to last for the whole week or whatever. She didn't bring them toilet paper. She didn't bring them cleaning supplies, just food. From what people can tell, she never really stepped foot in the house. So you got so when she first started out, so the boy he was 15. He's 15 now. So he would have been 11, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Yeah, he would have been 11. And the girls would have been 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So he would have been 11. One of the girls would have been 8, and the other girl would have been 7. 11-year old, 11-year-old boy, a 8-year-old girl, and a 7-year-old girl. 7. My, I had 5 children. Let me see. I have 5 children. I have a 26-year-old and I have a 24-year-old. Those are my older children. Then I have younger children. My oldest of my younger children is 8 years old. 8 years old. And I cannot leave him alone a day. A couple hours actually. A couple hours and he's getting into all types of crazy stuff. So 11-year-old, a 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old when she first abandoned them. And this was in the height of 2020. Everybody know what happened in 2020. So the 11-year-old grew up to be 15. The 8-year-old grew up to be 13. And then, no, I think 12. Is it 12 and 13, 11? Well, anyway. So what did she do? She left them in the house to fend for themselves. Little ones cannot be left alone without proper guidance because they little ones. They're not, their brains don't compute like adults. Their brains don't compute like adults. They little ones for 5 years. For 5 years. So for 5 years, these little ones was locked up in the house. She told them never to go outside. Don't answer the door. Now, the oldest one, the 15-year-old, he told the authorities that he went outside a couple times so he could feel grass. So he could feel the grass. But otherwise, they stayed in the house. I find it really hard to believe um, that they wasn't in there fighting because kids fight. They fight. I find it hard to believe they wasn't in there fighting. The neighbor said they never heard anything. The only thing that the neighbors heard or whatever is that he heard them calling from a window. And in his interview, he said that, well, in the interview, the news reporter said, little did he know, like basically, that the room that they was calling him from was stacked up with trash. But they was yelling out the window to him, nice car. And he said, he ain't really think nothing of it. They say they didn't know it was kids in the house, but yet, you heard a kid calling from out the window. And then they say they didn't know that it was kids in the house, but they knew that the mom dropped off food, and they knew that the mom sat in the car outside for hours. But they say they did not know there was kids in the house. And I find it really hard to believe that them kids wasn't in there fighting, because kids fight, especially at that age. Especially at that age. You talking about a little boy that's 11, from 11 to 15 years old. He's going through puberty, things are changing in his body. He's going through a lot. And you want to tell me that they you didn't hear them? They wasn't in there fighting? I find that hard to believe. I'm not even gonna lie. I find that super hard to believe. Um, the fact that they actually listened to their mother and did not go out the house. That's another thing I find hard to believe. But they said that they were so fearful of her. They were so fearful of her. So they listened. And she comes to court now. Yes, ma'am. Oh, she better get some time. She better get some time. Like she better get some time, because this is absolutely ridiculous to me. It's best to plant your fingers in one spot and move the scalp without rubbing your hair follicles. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. I do that sometimes too. Um, but I am done. How long I've been on here? Almost 40 minutes. I am done. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on this story, because yeah, I really want to know. I really want to know. So I will be live again doing my hair routine. What's today? Thursday. I will be live again either Sunday night or early Sunday. No, not Sunday night. Saturday night or early Sunday morning. I will be live doing my hair routine. And I think I will talk about. I have two stories I might want to talk about. I want to talk about the Johnson and Johnson verdict that just came out or whatever. I really want to talk about that, because I think I talked about that previously. And I remember the lawyer being so smug and saying, well, they won most of their cases or whatever. Well, they won all of their cases, and they're going to win this one. And they didn't win. Um, and it was another story. But yeah, I think I'm going to talk about the Johnson and Johnson thing now. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, I'll be back live again Saturday, either Saturday night or early Sunday morning. If you have not liked the live, please make sure that you like the live on your way out. And I'll see you guys Saturday night or Sunday morning, early Sunday morning.